Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have 3 recipes for you. The first one is roasted chicken, the second one is kielbasa and pierogies, and the third one is a beef and noodle soup. You want to start this recipe by preheating your oven to 350 degrees. I'm adding a tablespoon of paprika, two teaspoons of garlic powder, one teaspoon of onion powder, one teaspoon of thyme, two teaspoons of salt, half a teaspoon of oregano, and a quarter of a teaspoon of pepper. I will link this recipe below, but I'm making it in the oven, and the recipe that I have calls for it to be made in the Instant Pot, but I just like the rub on it, and that's just what I make all the time, and I make it in the oven, and it comes out amazing. You'll see here that I forget to put the olive oil on first, so I end up having to have my boyfriend do it for me. I start putting the seasoning on and then I forget, or I remember that I forgot to put the olive oil on first. See, I just remembered right there. So he's going to dump a little bit of olive oil. I rub it underneath of the skin and all over the bird. And then we just put the seasoning all over it. It looks like it's a lot of seasoning, but I promise it is so good. So I'm just gonna rub it in everywhere. Turn it over and do the back of it. I usually put some inside of it too, and I didn't this time. It cooks in the oven for about 2 hours, and then this is what it looks like when it's done. We're making kielbasa and pierogies this night. We preheated the oven to 400 degrees, sprayed a cooking sheet with cooking spray, and both sides of the pierogies. And we baked them for, I think it was like 10 minutes, and then we flipped them in 10 more minutes. Now we're just going to cut up the kielbasa. You can do it in bigger chunks if you want, or you can cut them in half, however you want to do it. You're going to put them in a pan and start to get them to cook. And then I'm just going to slice up one onion. Me and my boyfriend are the only ones that like the onions. The kids do not. So I'm just going to slice them into little strips. And then once the kielbasa is cooked a little bit more, I'm going to put them in with it. Ten minutes into the pierogies cooking, we're going to flip them over and cook them for 10 more minutes. I guess he didn't spray the pan good enough because they were sticking a little bit. So we're just going to turn them over. This is such an easy meal to make, and I really only recorded it because my sister said she's never made it before, and then my mom told me she's never made it before either, so I figured why not just record making kielbasa and pierogies. We like our kielbasa a little bit more well done, so I'm just going to keep cooking it and then add in the onions. I didn't want the kielbasa to burn, so I grabbed a plate, and I'm just going to take the kielbasa out while the onions finish cooking. Once everything was done, we added the kielbasa back into the pan, plated it up. Some of the kids like the pierogies with some sour cream on it. I like mine plain. So this is how it came out. This night we had a new recipe. It was beef and noodle soup. I combined two different recipes because I wanted to use how they cooked the meat in one recipe and the noodles and the ingredients from another recipe. So I'll link both of the recipes below and you can pick which one you want to try if you want to try them. I started by adding some salt and pepper and some garlic powder onto the roast beef. Sometimes I make the roast beef like that and just put it in the oven for a couple hours. It's so good. We added a packet of the onion soup mix. Some Worcestershire sauce. And then it called for 4 cups of beef broth. I added in some tomato paste, probably about 2 tablespoons. I think it only called for 1, but I didn't want to waste the whole can because I wasn't going to use it for anything else. Kind of just stirring all the ingredients together. Then you pop the lid on, and I cooked it I think I cooked it for about 12 hours in total. Halfway through, I shredded it, but I forgot to post or record, me shredding all the meat up, as you'll be able to tell in the next clip. So we had shredded it a few hours before that, and now I'm just kind of skimming the fat off of the top of the whatever, you know what I mean. Kind of shredding it up a little bit more because some of the pieces weren't fully shredded. I ended up adding in some cornstarch and like a little slurry in there to try to thicken up the gravy. And then I let it cook for another like 30 minutes. The recipe tells you to cook the egg noodles in with the meat, but I didn't do that because I didn't want to, so I cooked them on the stove, and then I just plated everything up with, like, separately. I didn't mix it all together. I'm going to show you it plated up at the end, and I'm going to put a clip at the end of my son's reaction to the dish. I personally wasn't a fan. I don't think it was flavorful enough, but my boyfriend liked it. No one else did. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to insert that clip here, but I just wanted to say thank you. Please subscribe. I'm really trying to grow my channel, so hit the button. And if you didn't like any of these recipes, I promise the next 3 are going to be amazing. So stay tuned for those. What do you think? Is it good?
Kind of.
Kind of?
Mm-hmm. I'm question why you recording me.
Because maybe people want to know if it's good or not.